All right, earlier on the program, we saw pictures of the presidential reception for the Nigerian Super Eagles and the national awards that were conferred on the players and officials of the team. I have the honor to have on the program two legends of Nigerian football, Emmanuel Amunike, former Super Eagles forward and striker, and I also have the legendary goalkeeper, Peter Rufai, on the program today. I call him the legendary. And also, Emmanuel Amunike, also a legend of the Nigerian Super Eagles. Let me start with you, Peter Rufai. I mean, proud to the commencement of the Africa Cup of Nations, Nigerians were worried that the Super Eagles had goalkeeping problems. With what you saw at the Africa Cup of Nations as a former goalkeeper, can you comfortably and conveniently say that that area has been solved?
Thank you, Promise. Before the AFCON 2023 Ivory Coast, Nigeria has been yearning for a better goalkeeper. And just before the team left for Cote d'Ivoire, we got the news of Stanley Nwabali joining the team. And in the commencement of the AFCON, the first match against Equatorial Guinea, that was my first time seeing Stanley Nwabali. Immediately, I assessed his performances, I assessed his movement, I assessed his communication, and his composure. And immediately, I said to myself, yes, Nigeria have been able to solve this problem. The yearning of Nigeria getting a better goalkeeper for the Super Eagles. Nwabali in that first match, satisfied me. I was happy with what I saw, and Nigerians were happy with what they saw as well. But it did not just end there. Subsequently, Nwabali continued with, by growing into the competition, performances, communications, composure, and maintaining and dominating the 6 meters and including the 16 meters area of the field. His coming out, anticipation, reading the game was fantastic. I loved it. There was a time when Bali came almost 30 meters to 40 meters away from his goal, to save what could have been another danger, for the Super Eagles. But because he was reading the game, he's not just in the goalpost as a goalkeeper, but he was busy reading the game. And that was something, I really liked about Stanley Nwabali. That is a good performance. Not only that, there was a match played again. I think that was the match, if I'm not mistaken, was it against South Africa? He came out in anticipation of a true pass, but suddenly the ball was, stopped by the defense, a very strong defense of the Super Eagles led by Trust Ekong. And the striker saw him. I think whether Mukopan or something like that. He saw him, backsliding, going back, and he took a shot. Nwabali from at the 12 meters of his goal stretched out to parry that ball away. That will show you a quality goalkeeper. That will show you a goalkeeper that is reading the game. That will show you that this goalkeeper is not just sleeping or is not just there as a goalkeeper in between the sticks. In fact, Nwabali went on, not just only there, in the penalty shootouts. Nwabali now demonstrated, reflex, demonstrated composure, demonstrated the mind reading. You must read a striker. When a striker drops the ball to take a penalty, as a goalkeeper, you must read the mind. So imagine where left or right is he going to play the ball. That is one. But notwithstanding, his stretches, his dives were very accurate, and he saved us in the penalty shootout. Nwabali went on again, closing up the space. And this is due to the communication coming from the goalkeeper, led by Trust Ekong in the defense line, making the defense line watertight. Fantastic. When they took the shot, you could see the shot taken that I think Bassi used his leg. Bassi used his leg to stop the shot from going in. That is defensive close-up, where you try to close up all the spaces, not allowing the opponent to have the room to penetrate and do whatever they like. So this is my take for the goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali. I give him a thumb up, and Nigeria gave a thumb up. Nigeria loved what he did. Nigeria loves his performances. I, as a goalkeeper, I tell you, I love the performances of Stanley Nwabali, and I give him thumb up and the defense as well.
And if the legendary Dodo Mayana says he loves the performance of the goalkeeper, who is anybody else to say otherwise? All right, let's join former striker, former winger, Emmanuel Amunike, who is also live on the program from his base. Amunike, you are now a football coach. Are you comfortable with the way the Eagles played at the AFCON tournament? A 4-3-4 formation, which saw the Eagles pose a watertight defensive formation, though that defense was cracked in the final of the tournament twice. But all through the competition, the team was defensively solid. A lot of Nigerians applauded the approach, and others felt it was too negative for a team that has got players that have a lot of flair.
Well, thank you for your questions. I think in modern football, there is no specific system that guarantees you to achieve your objectives. The ability of the players in terms of from an intelligent aspect of the game and decisions making enables you to fit into the patterns you want to play. Our first game against Equatorial Guinea, we started with a 4-3-3. But unfortunately, in the second game, we changed the system, which give us more, guarantee and more, secure at the back, and it worked for us, and we were able to find our way. But the disadvantages of most of this system is when you play 5-man back, and basically you're going to lose the midfield, and when you lose the midfield, this is where you start to have a lot of challenges. We saw it in the last game. The Côte d'Ivoire, they took over the midfield because they were more in possession of the ball. And when you are in possession of the ball, you dominate more in terms of the playing. You dictate the pace of the game. You dictate how you want the game to flow. You dictate when you want to accelerate the ball. And that creates a lot of, our players means running behind the ball, and that brings a lot of tiredness to them. But I think no matter what system you want to use, what matters is the ability of the players to fit into the system. They played very well, and they did the best they could. Unfortunately, we could not be able to, win the cup in the final. But of course, credit needs to be given to them. The players, from individual point of view, they all gave their best. Defensively, the defense were very, very solid. Just like what Rufai said, when you have a very good goalkeeper, he transmits a lot of confidence to the rest of the team. He transmits a lot of confidence to his teammate. And I think that is what Stanley did, and that really affected the whole team from the group stage. The confidence began to grow, and they were able to find their way to the final. Well, we need to learn from what we have seen in this AFCON, and hopefully we can build on that to move forward.
All right, Amunike, I'll stay with you briefly, and I'll fuse two questions in one. African Player of the Year, Victor Osimhen, is your protege, a player you groomed from the under-17. You know him so well. You know how dangerous he can be when he's in front of goal. But at the AFCON tournament, he only managed one goal. The other goal he scored was, of course, against South Africa, which was disallowed. I mean, lots of talks around why was it impossible for Osimhen, who was seen as the most dangerous Nigerian player, why was he not able to get the goals at the tournament? And in the final of the competition, like you mentioned earlier, what do you think the Nigerian team should have done differently to get a better result in that final game from a coach's perspective?
Well, let me go first to the question of Osimhen. You can't ask more than what you're expecting. I think if we are honest to ourselves, we could see that Osimhen gave everything in that tournament. And when you have a player with such a characteristics of quality, you need other players to complement his effort. But the system that we adopted, also forced Osimhen to be, coming back. Even the players in terms of Chukwueze and Simon and Lukman, when you play such a system where you lose your midfield, basically, that forces your offensive players to be dropping deep to receive the ball. And when they receive the ball deep, their effectiveness becomes shallow. So it's one of the things. Osimhen in this tournament, I think he gave everything. He created opportunities. He created scoring chances for the other players to score. So we should not look because he did not score and then we start saying no, he did. No, he did everything. But of course, as a striker, you need other players, to make the job easier. Of course, if you want to win a game, win a tournament, you must also be available in your offensive play. You cannot spend 90 minutes, defending so deep close to your goal post. And then that gives the opponent, the opportunity to continue to mount pressure. When you look at their key players that created the chances, the Adinga of a boy, you saw him each time he receives the ball, he's receiving the ball close to our goal post. And that makes him more effective and more dangerous. And whatever ball he can deliver over there, the strikers will be available to deal with it. But when he goes back to their goal post to receive the ball, then he becomes less effective. So these are things you have to put into place and then work on it and be ready for you to be able to compete with the opponent that you are going to play against.
Okay. Coach Emmanuel Amunike, former Super Eagles forward, thank you so much for your time on the program. Dr. Mayana Peter Rufai, the Super Eagles have been conferred on with the MON Award, Member of the Order of the Niger. That's a fair gesture from the president, isn't it? Okay, it's a live situation. All right. Peter Rufai, can you please unmute your device so you can hear me and I can hear you too?
Yeah.
Okay, I said the Super Eagles have been conferred on with a national award, and that looks like a fair gesture from the president of Nigeria, isn't it?
It is indeed. It has really shown the love of the president government. Nigerians, we are so happy over the performance of our Super Eagles. Before, like I did said earlier, before this competition, no one ever knew or thought or believed that the Super Eagles was going to put up a very beautiful performance in this AFCON. And the president have really, really done what is best, what is suitable to show appreciation to the players and the crew that Nigeria is behind them and Nigeria is happy with their performance. The president has really done very, very well. I say, well done. I say, Mr. President, thank you very much for recognizing these boys, for really giving these boys hope, and not the type that the boys will come back home because they did not bring the cup and everything will be forgotten. And next time, when you call these players for national assignment, you see some kind of attitude of reluctancy. But now, these players will know that this government is behind them. Nigerians are behind them. Nigerians, it's been a long time I saw Nigerians come out in numbers, to support the Super Eagles. It's been a long time, during my time, long time ago. And this time around, Nigerians troop in millions to support the Super Eagles, including the president himself, sitting down watching the television. Come on, let's give it up to the president and Nigerians.
All right. All right, thank you so much, the legendary Peter Rufai, Dodo Mayana. Thank you so much for your time on the program. And thank you to the legendary Emmanuel Amunike, who scored the 2 goals against Zambia when Nigeria won the 1994 Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia. Many thanks to you, Emmanuel Amunike, for also joining the show from your base today. Thank you so much for being a part of the program today.